Hiphoptictacticians of the world.
And we're back.
We are.
Yeah.
Guess who's back with the brand new track? It's Eddy Jones. Eddy Jones got the heat.
Sure does.
Yes, sir. Eddy Jones got the heat. I need shirts that say that now.
Yeah, I mean, from I guess that was cuts that I did that didn't make a song, and I've made it your tagline.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. Yeah, you're right. Thinking for a while. Eddy Jones got the heat.
So you were here a few times on the show. Most recently, when Underground Soul Volume 1 came out a couple years ago.
Yep.
We played that album extensively over the last couple years. We've got the first two songs from Volume 2, which we played last week and this week. That's playing right now while we're talking. And in a couple weeks, we'll get to see it live.
Yes, sir.
Explain. What do you mean live? What's going on?
First of all, thank you so much for always playing my music and for always supporting. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. And yeah, it's been working, you know. The first one was very successful, and it's I felt like I left it all out with the first one. We left it all out with the first one, and it was really hard to know where to go after that. You know, I feel like as an artist, I always had like a plan what I wanted to do and where to go. And after the last one, I was kind of like, I don't know where to go now. You know, it was the first time that I felt, you know, like lost, like musically. I know it sounds kind of like dramatic or whatever.
Is it like because you felt like you did something you always wanted to, and it was like, oh, like this is like, I don't know. I listened to that album over, and like I don't know a lot of the song names until it's time to rehearse for a performance, because I just listen to it as a complete body of work.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it was for me. But you got to think about it like from when you heard it, I was working on that album for like a year or like 18 months before that. Right. So it was like after the album came out, it was like I felt like, oh, that was everything I had, you know, and I didn't know where to go after that. And then immediately after that, I started going through some stuff in my life, like some hard stuff in my life. And what was weird for me is that I always used music as a getaway, you know, to like escape almost. And for the first time, I was using it to explain how I was feeling.
I love it.
Which was very different for me because it was very vulnerable, and it was very like it was a scary place. Being vulnerable was a scary place, especially you know, on a song, right? Because you know, especially as a man, right? Because you're like all this persona, all this machismo stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm not doing well over here. You know what I mean? And and it was the first time that I said that I felt like I used my music to express that side of me and what I was going through. So that's where Underground 2 is going, or where it went. I don't know if you can hear that from the first two songs that I sent you guys.
Yeah. And yeah, there's definitely some feelings in there. And sometimes the best music comes from painful moments. And I'm sorry you had to go through it, but I hope that we get to reap some of those benefits when we hear the album.
Yeah.
And I say in some of the lyrics, like I said that, like, I pray that it gives motivation to other people, you know what I mean? Because that's what all I was left with, you know what I mean? It was like, let me use this pain towards something. And you know what I mean? That's more where this album went through, because I didn't even plan this album. Like I said, it was just like, for a while I couldn't write, which I haven't experienced in a very long time, because for a long time it was learning, right? Because I've only been doing the Eddy Jones since 2018. So for a long time it was still a learning process. It was still you know, that reached that peak, I would say around like Family First, like you know, where I was just like I had so much to say, and I had to, you know, like and it was just coming out, you know. And like I said, I had Family First, I had Underground Soul planned already, like it was a long shot, and but then after that it was like, oh, and then I couldn't write, and then it was like, oh, and then I'm sure you guys experienced it where it's like, okay, I need to do something, we're gonna do something, and it's like,
And is that when Ghidorah came into play?
Even around the same time.
Because I mean,
with the Ghidorah thing, it was because once again I didn't know what to do, so it was like, let me do something else. And because I come from that background of putting artists together and putting albums together, since I didn't know what to do, I was like, let me do something else.
Right.
And that's where I went to the Ghidorah. That whole thing was a whole fiasco, and I can go on about why all that fell through, but that's near here there. That one's still gonna come out one day. But once again, it was like, you know that scene in Fresh Prince where he's left and everyone leaves and he's standing in the empty room and he's just like, huh. It was that moment for me musically.
Okay,
you know? Because I just put it all on the line with Underground Soul 1. It was just like blah. I was just going, you know what I mean? Like I was going through some stuff with some friends and everything like that, and it was just like that's where it all came out. It was like very, rinsing. And then after that, it was like I had nothing. And then I started picking beats again, and then it was kind of like very dark. It was kind of like I need to lighten up. And 22 songs. It's 99% done. We're finishing it tomorrow. We're supposed to finish it on Sunday, but it's just a never-ending thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear that. So, can you tell us some of the collaborators that you have on this one?
Yeah.
Who do we have on the album? Let me see. Let me pull it up because I don't want to miss anyone.
Yeah, man.
But all the regulars, Philly Regs, Zays is on there.
Mm-hmm.
1 second, let me pull it up. I don't want to miss anybody. Of course, E. Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
Zeppo is in there, as you guys heard.
Yeah.
What else? Dax. I got Dax on the album.
What?
That's so awesome. You did it. You did it.
Dax.
Dax Flow.
Oh, Dax Flow. Okay.
I'm more excited to hear Dax Flow, to be honest with you.
That is more interesting to me. Yes.
Dax and I have a long history, as you guys know. So it was like, he's kind of like a brother, like a cousin that I grew up with. You know what I mean? That I get to see only sometimes at family events, and it's kind of like we're always talking about doing something. And I was very happy that we finally got something.
Oh yeah.
Again. Well, damn. G Knight. I got G Knight on it.
Sweet.
I got Kenny, as I was saying. I know you guys interviewed him last week. I know the thing comes out tonight.
That's
I
right.
was very happy to see that. And
He's awesome.
That's somebody else who, outside of music, I'm very good friends with, and I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was one of the first people to, quote unquote, discover him, type of thing. And you know what I mean? I was always like, you should be doing more, because he's 1,000 times more talented than I am, and everything comes so easy for him. I feel like for me, I have to try really hard. People he's like, oh yeah, just this little song, and he's just so talented in his song, even rapping, and it's just like, I hate you so much.
but to build on what you were talking about with how you encouraged him to do more and stuff like that, I was going to bring up that when it comes to collaboration and teamwork and encouragement of the people around you, you're among the top for people that do that. You had your moment that you could have taken all for yourself about a year and a half ago with the Convergence Festival. You're booked as a solo artist, and you put your collaborators front and center. And I've seen you do that countless times. And then whether the album has come out yet or not, the Ghidorah thing, the way that you can see potential in other people and line things up for them as well shows that you're kind of a mastermind behind the scenes as well.
Yeah. So you got to give yourself
oh, thank you for that. I just feel like for me, it was always like a guilty feeling knowing this talent without anybody else. You know what I mean? And I was always like, I just wanted to share this with the world because I've been very blessed to meet a lot of talented people. Right. And I'm a huge fan of them before anything. I literally listen to the music all the time. Like when I met Dax, I had a radio show, I told you so many times, and he had already had 5 mixes at the time. And when he sent me music, I wanted to listen to every single one of them. You know what I mean? Because it was just like a movie or like a director that you discover. You're like, oh, I want to, like it was like that, and it has been like that with countless other artists, and I just feel like I just want to share it. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, this is mine. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh man, like I just feel like everybody look, like, what do you guys are missing this? You know what I mean? And it's I just want to build with everybody. I feel like that's what I love about hip hop, is the community side of it. You know what I mean? Because you can be rapping and making music by yourself all day and cool, but what else? You got to get it out there. You got to get with the people. You got to get into radio. You got to get it to the DJs. Like, I'm still sending DJ packs. Like, I'm still, grinding. Like, I'm still trying to get out there, go to other people's shows too. That's how I met B1. You know what I mean? Like, you invited me to a show, and I was like, yeah, I'll show up. And that's where I met him. Here we are, how many years later?
Yeah.
Party John's.
Yeah, exactly. You remember?
I think that was actually Milestone's show.
It was Milestone's show, yeah.
Yep.
And it was just like a random, like, bar with no stage, like many other hip hop shows with terrible sound. But that's what it's all about, And like I said, I've been very lucky and very blessed to have met a lot of talented people and incredible people that I'm just in awe all the time, and it's very blessed to work with, that I learn a lot from.
So B1 has told me that he's going to be joining us in a couple minutes.
Okay.
But before he does, tell us what it's like to work with B1.
Oh, it's amazing. It's very encouraging and very, just seeing his work ethic and seeing how fast it works is just like, I got to do more, like I'm always inspired, and I'm always like, man, and life always gets in the way. I got a job. I got, I lost count of how many kids I got, dogs, and it's always something, picking somebody up, taking somebody somewhere. And, but I do what I can, and he's always working, and he's always just ready to go and willing, and let's go, let's do this. And, like after meeting him at Hardy John's, we did like 2 songs, and he was already like, let's do an album, like, like let's work. And artists, rapper especially, are not the easiest people to work with in the world, and to find somebody who I saw your face do it.
Well, mine?
No, hers. Like, she's like, yeah. Because and just to see somebody who has good work ethic and works fast and is a pleasure to work with, it's good and different. I like it. That's why I don't even know how many songs we have now, but yeah,
amazing. Like he releases so much music, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Like I'm yet to hear something with his name on it that I'm like, I don't need to hear the rest of this. I always hear it out. Like, there's no reason not to,
Yeah.
You wake, Zach?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Taking a little nap.
What's that?
He's taking a little nap.
No, this chair is really uncomfortable to sit forward in, so I'm just kind of leaning.
Seeing your hair makes me miss mine. I just chopped mine off, and I'm like, oh, I kind of miss it sometimes.
Yeah, you're looking younger, man.
Thank you.
I had a haircut about 15 minutes before we recorded. I go to the upstairs bathroom salon.
Nice. Yeah, I think I went like 5 years without a haircut, so I felt good after a while. A little change,
Yeah.
You know how it is. So much work.
So much work. So let's talk a bit more about the show that's coming up. We're at the Bond Street Event Center, which is 44 Bond Street East in Oshawa, February 1st. What time's that starting?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. You told me a couple days ago that it's free.
It's a free show.
So
Stop this, for real?
Anybody listening that
Right on.
you just need to come. There's really no excuse.
It really isn't.
If you have physical means to get to downtown Oshawa, you should probably come to this because it's going to be very special.
Yeah.
Pound Bang is on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right on.
Che Uno.
Ninth Uno. Yeah.
And Lizeppo, right?
Lizeppo, yeah. And B1 and I, yeah. Might have a couple other surprises coming up.
And who's the DJ again?
I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Hiphoptictactics. I don't know.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, so I'll be there for that, obviously, and I'll take this
Very
moment to talk about a couple other shows that are coming up as well.
Okay.
In February, I'm going across the province with Sky Zoo.
Really? We're heading. What I
So February 19th, we are in Kitchener.
okay.
The 20th at Lee's Palace in Toronto. 21st, the venue in Peterborough, and then the 22nd in Ottawa.
Right on. Man.
This guy's very dope.
And another show that will have passed by the time you all hear this, but I think everybody that follows our show will appreciate this. Our friend Jordan,
Oh yes.
also known as Unlearn the MC, also known as Boozy Wednesday,
Boozy Wednesday.
and most recently DJ Vault,
Oh yes.
is
Yeah.
DJing for Cool Keith tomorrow night at Lee's Palace.
What?
Yes.
So random.
My protege that I trained is DJing for Cool Keith tomorrow night.
You feel like a proud papa.
That's
sure
so
do.
cool.
Because you've
What's up,
heard me
y'all?
talk about Justin on
B1.
the show before. B1.
How you doing,
What's
man?
going on, man?
Good. How about you, man?
I'm good, man. How's everyone doing?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Sorry for
The
delay.
B and B1 is now for beard. He's the
Yeah.
bearded one.
Beard won the architect.
This is a very full room. This is the most full we've had this room, I think.
It is.
Yeah, because Zach's quite often here with me too. So, yeah, this is nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah,
So to bring you up to speed, B1, we've talked a little bit about the process of Underground Soul Volume 1 and Underground Soul Volume 2. We talked
Yep.
about our show that's coming up.
Yep.
And we've praised your work ethic.
Appreciate it, man.
So we play your music a lot on this show, both the Underground Soul stuff and the other countless releases that you have every month.
Yeah.
I was just saying that you put out more music probably than anybody I know personally. And in the time that I've seen your name on tracks, there's not been one that I've skipped
Mhm.
after playing part of it. I always hear them all out and go back to them. So
Yeah.
I don't know how you do so much at that quality level, but yeah, hats off to you, man.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, man. And honestly, it's just years and years and years of experience. And the leg up I have on a lot of people is just when I first started rapping or whatever, when I first started producing and rapping, I just wanted to be entirely self-sufficient. So I built a home studio right away, taught myself the technical stuff behind engineering and all that.
Mhm.
Then once I had that going, it was, years and years, probably like 6-7 years of just making stuff almost every day that nobody ever heard
Right.
before I got to the level that I'm at now or whatever, right? I'd say around 2018, 2019 is when I kind of reached a point where I was comfortable starting to release and promote stuff. And then that's when I linked up with Eddy and LRP and kind of got my foot through the door.
And also, it's kind of funny that when we both met, we kind of both felt that about the other one that, oh, you have a lot of years and experience, but we had both just started like not long before that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it was,
exactly.
Like so fast, and I had my years experience of being behind the scenes that we were able to like work so fast. Like I said, I was just telling them that after we did like 2 songs, we're like, let's do an album, and we did that first Freedom EP like in months. And
Yeah, that came together quick.
yeah. Once I like a year after, I remember being like, he told me, oh yeah, I started in 2018, and I was like, me too. And by the time it was just like because he already had like albums by the point, and he already joined LRP and stuff like that. So a lot of things.
So were you doing your rock stuff prior to that then?
Yeah, so the Blade Runners thing, that's a related but almost separate story because I linked up with Corey, who's the other half of Blade Runners, and he plays all the live instrumentation. He's a singer as well.
Mhm.
I linked up with him back in like 2012.
Okay.
So that's a long fucking time ago, right?
Yeah.
And so we started making. By the way, I don't know if this is live on the air anywhere. Maybe I shouldn't swear. I don't know.
Oh, we're
It's
putting it on
pre-recorded.
Tuesday,
Oh,
and
okay.
we're late at night, so
Okay, I can go nuts. No, I'm just
don't. Well,
don't go nuts.
we had an episode with Governor that sounded
Yeah.
a little bit like 40 minutes of the last 20 seconds of Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I won't do that. All right. 40 minutes of the last two.
Could you expect anything else from Governor though? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
It was
Probably
a
wears
real
glasses and
it was a real editing job for Zach. I don't think Zach
Shout
has
out to
ever had
Governor.
to work as hard as on that Governor episode.
That's
I said
hilarious.
you can leave the F bombs, but we got to take the N words out.
Right.
Yes.
Honestly, when I sent him back, like Jay
I don't know.
texted me and was like, "You missed like 11," and I was like, "All right, that's a lot. 11 is a lot to me." So,
One is a lot.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I won't go full hit him up. But yeah, we linked up like in 2012, and then it was like years of just sending ideas back and forth, and then I don't think we released a Blade Runners album until like 2017 or 16 or something like that. And then I didn't release a solo record under B1 the Architect until 2018. So there was about a 7-8 year period where I was just, nobody knew who I was, and I was just in the studio every day building. Yeah. And ever since, it seems like a flood, but like a lot of it has been in the works for years, right? So
Where does the Architect come in? How did you get that name?
Yeah.
well, it was just B-1, like B1 originally. And the reason I switched it was because I tried to release a project under B1 and it went on some other guy's profile. So it was like, yeah, well, because there's a lot of like B1 or, it was too simple and common of a name. So I had to just add something onto it to make it unique for streaming platforms and stuff. And then the Architect just came from the fact that at that point I had recently learned production, video editing, engineering. So it's just like I learned all these things and I felt like I'd architect the whole blueprint of a song or an album or whatever. So it just made sense.
Yeah.
And it sounds dope, so it works.
Yeah, it works. It works.
I kind of half expected to see you sitting at a drafting table or something, but
That would be cool. I should do that for a video. That'd be sick.
yeah.
Go full Architect.
I always think of the Matrix when I think the Architect.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's true too.
Right.
The guy on the TV screen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's you.
man.
So you mentioned all the different areas that you work in the music process.
Yeah.
When you're doing a solo project, what do you start with? If you're doing a song where you're doing everything from start to finish B1, what do you begin with?
Usually a sample, then the beat, well, not even just a sample, because I have a lot of beats off my last couple albums that I didn't even use samples. But regardless, I usually start with production first.
Mm-hmm.
Make a beat from scratch or using a sample or whatever, just get the vibe and the emotion or whatever I'm trying to convey.
Mhm.
And then the thing with me is if a beat speaks to me and I kind of really emotionally resonate with it or I feel it, the writing process is really fast and easy. I kind of just whatever first thing that comes to my head gets written down usually.
And are you pen and paper or notes app?
No, I'm all digital because it's too easy to lose your shit. I can't read my own handwriting, so yeah, digital. Yeah, all digital.
That's funny.
All digital. And then from a video making perspective, how did you get into that? Because I've seen you've got video credits on other people's stuff as well, right?
Yeah, I'd say at this point I've edited hundreds of videos, and I got into it originally just out of everything I've ever done has been because I was broke.
Fair.
And you don't want to. We were trying to make Blade Runners videos in like 2015, and I was like, well, I know this guy, but he charges like $800, which in 2015 was a lot of money.
Yes.
So I was like, let me just figure this out. So I downloaded Premiere and started messing with it. I edited a few of our videos, and then I was the in-house editor for LRP when we were doing our little run, and then that experience probably like propelled me forward the quickest.
You did the LRP videos?
Yeah, I did all of them. I think all of them. Yeah.
Sweet.
And then after that, I just had a lot of editing experience. So I haven't done a lot of shooting. I've shot a couple videos using other people's cameras. That's just been the one thing I haven't invested in yet, is actually buying a camera. But we'll get
Which
there.
is
That's
probably
something that
smart
you're
because
interested
that's
to
the
do?
one that'll depreciate quickest.
Yeah, it is something I'd love to do. It's just a matter of, it's one of the most expensive investments.
Right.
Like even like music equipment and stuff, you can kind of like make small investments here and there and like gradually add to your studio and keep adding pieces. Like I just picked up a new music computer to replace my old one, and that was only like $600-700. If I was buying a camera plus like a good lens and all the filters, everything I would want for it, it'd be like $5,000, right? So it's
True enough.
yeah, much more of an investment. I will definitely do it at some point, but yeah, in the meantime, I've just been doing editing because that's all digital. It's much easier.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
We asked Eddy earlier what it's like to work with you. What's it like to work with Eddy Jones?
It's trash. No, I'm just playing. It's good, man. We get along. It's just like as soon as he hit me up, we just right away we started like playing each other's songs and beats, and like I think we had a similar taste, especially when it comes to hip hop. Like we just have a very similar appreciation for soulful, jazzy, like authentic hip hop shit. And as soon as he played me stuff and I played him stuff, it was just, it's just been easy the whole time. Like even the underground soul stuff, it's like he's very selective with beats. He'll comb through producers for weeks and months and then send me beats, but they're all handpicked, so they're so good that I really never say no. It's just like, oh, this is sick. Let's do it. Yeah, so he's already vetted all these beats and gone through stuff. So, and then I usually contribute a few beats to the project too. So between me adding a few and then the vast web of producers we've connected with over the years, we have this like super team of production with what we do, and I think that's what makes our shit really stand out.
Definitely.
Yep.
But for me, that's one of the most important things because that's like where I started, was making beats, like at my parents' house, like just, so I always tried to make my own beats, and I was always very proud. I'm like, oh, we make our own beats, which is good and all, but then I went and met producers all over the world that have just the most amazing beats, and it was just like, why wouldn't I use their beats, because I want to support, local talent, and of course, I my family and all that have been working for a long time. These people are making amazing beats, and that's all I do at nighttime. I just go through beats, like literally hundreds of beats, and I'll discover a new producer and go through their whole, catalog, and then just reach out to them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and yeah, I've just been very blessed. Like we were saying before about meeting talented people. Same thing with producers. Like now we have, like we once said, like a good amount of like 10 producers that are just incredibly talented, and
yeah, exactly.
And I mean, like he wants to find that beat, and I let it kind of speak to me, and just whatever comes out, do one verse, do a hook, send it to B1, and bam, there it is.
So here's my question to you two. Like, what is the process that you go through to, showcase to these, like before the group of producers that you had?
Right.
How are you going about to, I don't want to call it sell yourself, but what are your steps to kind of get their attention to say, hey, I like your shit, and I know that what I'm about to do on it is going to be fire? How do we make that work together? What are your steps to make that come to life?
Well, I'm sure it's different for both of us, but in my case, I'm also a producer, so a lot of the time I'm reaching out to them as a peer, and we kind of talk about beats, develop a relationship based on that, and then I will usually just send them a song and let the music speak for itself. That's kind of what I tend to do with everybody I work with. Is just as much as possible. I don't like to oversell or talk much. Just here is my work. If you like it, let's work.
Pretty much. And I feel like with music and most things, you're only as good as your last work, and when I first started rapping, I had to lease beats. Like I was literally going, on SoundCloud and $10 beats, $20 beats and stuff like that, because I just didn't know, and I just wanted to do different stuff. At the time I was just kind of like experimenting, trying to find my sound type of thing. And from there I would just show people, oh, this is what I can do. Same thing. I don't like to sell myself, like you said, and say I can do this, or I'm gonna kill it. I don't like to do any of that. I'm like, this is what I can do. This is the last song that I did. This is the last album that I did. This is the last video that I did. So if you like it, we can work. If you don't like it, then it's fine. Like I said, not every producer says yes. Not everybody is down to work. Some people want money. Some people want a lot of money, and I don't have either of those. So, if you're down to work, then we can
Not many
work.
of us do.
People, same thing. But I also try to create like Jason was saying, like I try to also create other opportunities for other people. So it's not just like take. And also what I try to do too is also I try to showcase those producers as well, and like producers that I've met now work with B1, and they have like albums together, and it's a community like that too, and I consider myself more of an A&R than anything else, because I'm just connecting people, you know what I mean? Like, you should this and that, and that's what I try to do, and I'm able to sweet talk myself into it.
I like that sweet talk. Okay, so I like how you said that you find yourself a little bit more of an A&R. Why don't you walk into that role a little bit more? Or what's preventing you from doing that?
I feel like I have been doing that role in a way, but I don't know. I feel like to be an A&R, you have to be more in what's current. And for me, I'm so into my own ways. I know what I like, but it's not. I don't follow trends. I don't follow what's hot or the next thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an old head, and I like my music, and I like what I like, and it's very specific. And that's what I do.
I think to be a top 40 A&R, you have to be up on what's current.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. If you're at like a major label or something.
If there's an audience of people our age and 15, 20 years older than us that want to hear that shit.
This is where I was kind of.
And we're the people that have jobs and money and go to the shows and buy the vinyls and the shirts.
Yes.
True.
Because I see what you've been doing, Eddie. I've been following since 2018. Like, look, you got your boy wearing your T-shirt, for fuck's sake. Like, honestly, I've been seeing what's been same with you, V1. Like, I've been watching, and I'm just wondering, because I love this type of hip hop. This is what I love. Jason can talk highly about that. That's why I love Daxpo so much. You know what I mean? Like, his style, that flow, where you can be so creative with your instrumentation of your beats, and you have a little tiny slice of a sample, and then all of a sudden it opens up into some sort of crazy orchestration that you're like, holy shit. And then you've got this crazy verse that comes in, and you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in 1995. Like, that's what I appreciate about you both. Like, that's why I love your music. And I don't know if that just makes me just an old head. Maybe that's what that's called. I don't know. But I just feel
that's
like
what we call us, yeah. I think that's what they labeled us.
Yeah, and
I don't care. I think a lot of people would come out for that stuff.
And yeah, like when I hear your music, I think a little bit of throwback to what Natalie had said, but what really stands out for me is I always draw the comparison to Mellow Music Group.
Yeah.
Like Odyssey.
Yeah.
Ugly Heroes, Chris Oric. Like that.
Really?
And, yeah, and that's the shit I listen to in my spare time. Like, it's hard to DJ that in a club, but when I'm in the car or at home, like that's what I have on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good shout out, because I think Underground Soul as a group would fit right on that label.
Absolutely,
for sure. Rhyme Sayers would be a good one too.
Honestly, I don't listen to any other hip hop. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Like,
I don't blame you.
I just feel like I can't, because I don't want to be influenced, and I'm trying to be like, I feel like a lot of rappers rap just to rap, and they kind of rap on, and I feel like with me personally as Eddie Jones, I'm trying to be Eddie Jones as much as possible, and trying to have a very unique sound, which makes it harder to pick beats, which makes it harder to be diverse and all that, but because I have to, and the best compliment that I ever got was that I have my own sound. Oh, that's an Eddie Jones type of song. And that to me, it was like, oh, thank you so much, because that's exactly what I've been trying to do. You know, but I feel like I'm easily influenced, like I hear a song and I'm like, I want to do a song like, and I'm like, no, wait a minute, no, like that,
So what do you listen to then?
These days I listen to a lot of Afro beats.
Okay.
Afro, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay.
I'm chill back, and I feel like the rap this even a lot of music is very like violent, and I'm just, I'm in my mellow era, and I just want to chill back, and
good.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I do listen to hip hop, I listen to beats. I'm searching through beats, or I'm listening to local artists, and checking out their stuff.
Right.
But
What
other than
about you?
like any kind of
When you're ready.
main, there's not a lot, honestly. Like not a lot of new stuff that I'm like, whoa, like I haven't been wowed in hip hop in a long time by any like mainstream artists at least, anything like that.
Yeah, when I get wowed, it's usually by someone in I won't say our circle, but someone that's in our scene.
Yeah, same.
Like the Lotus album from last year was like fucking crazy. That's a jaw dropper right there, right? And then like Danio had his Vigilante album last year. That's the fucking banger from start to finish too, right? Like there's so many people in our system, I'll call it. Our system, I won't even say local, but our Canadian hip hop system that have like such phenomenal work.
Straight up. And I feel like sometimes better than what's out there. And it's crazy because I feel like, oh, I'm just saying that because I know them, but it's like a lot of times like, man, and like I was saying before, like it drives me crazy that it's like, man, why are you guys not listening to this? Like I just want to get it out there. But and the A&R thing that you were saying and trying to get it out there, that's why I'm trying to do this show that we're doing on February 1st, because it's not just one show. I'm trying to do like a concert series and have one every couple months to showcase that talent. And I feel like a lot of people, because I'm targeting an older audience, and a lot of those people don't want to go out to the rap shows and with violins and all that and late and drunk and all that. So I'm trying to have it a little bit earlier, 8 to 12, older crowd, chill, like a tiny desk type of vibe. It's just we're lounging. Everyone asks me, oh, how much time do I have in the set? It's like there's no set anything. It's just like we're just gonna go there and have fun with it, and just no violence, nothing like that. Just showcase good talent, and hopefully, if we do well, we can do every couple months and bring everybody out. I'm hoping the next one we can have Nate headline and.
Does it have to be in Oshawa all the time? I'm sorry.
No. I just don't know a lot of people in other towns, so it's hard for me to promote in other towns. And Bond Street Events, I know you've been there, but they have a very nice area upstairs. I got to do a thing there for Durham College a couple months ago, and when I saw the space, I was like, this is perfect for a hip hop show.
Okay.
Smaller hip hop show. So.
And I actually haven't seen that room yet, but I've played in both of their other rooms, the former dungeon, which is like a medium-sized room. And then the big room we did the Harley G show in, and the sound in both of those spaces is just phenomenal. Like the sound system they have, the staff that they have working there, like they've done a really great job on that place.
Yeah, it's an exciting new venue, man. It seems like almost everyone in the area has been gravitating towards it too. So.
And there's not a lot of good venues. A lot of them are like old, or they don't like hip hop, or they're known for fights, or they have no security. It's always
like we took Oshawa as a city took kind of a shit kicking for 5 or 6 years where venues were closing.
That's true.
Like we had our Mustache Club and Coco and Joe for the small stuff, and Corral, and
like Coco and Joe. He said
so many little spots that closed over the last 5 or 6 years. Then we've got those 3 venues in the one building now. 504 is open again, and the sound in there is really good. I did a show there a couple weeks ago. It sounds great in there too, and it's a pretty good vibe. Like the area of town to park in's kind of, but as far as like an event space goes, it's fantastic. Like we're starting to get spots to play in again. I haven't been there yet, but I see posted online all the time. It's the former Players Bench. It's called Nookie's Soul Kitchen now.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
They have live music every day of the week.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's interesting.
So yeah, like there's a lot of good stuff going on right here in Oshawa, and for a town that like really went through the ringer as far as music venues goes, I feel like we're on the come up.
Yeah, and I've been trying to find a venue that will have hip hop shows, and like I said, and have it like a proper one, because I've done most of the places that you said, and a lot of there's always something. It's like you said, it's either location or the sound or something, and I think I found
the sound. I like doing places that sound good. Like if you're gonna put on music, it should sound good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
hip hop shows and sound, the good sound is not usually, it's always like
That's what I'm out to
too
change.
loud or always something.
That's what I'm out to change. Vocal clarity.
Yes, sir. Please. Nothing I hate more than trying to scream to hear myself in a big echoey venue.
Oh,
But the last one that we did at the record store, that was really good. They had good sound.
That sounded great, yeah, because it's basically all insulated. There's records everywhere, shit everywhere. So it's basically soundproofed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys don't have a ton of vocals in your tracks and stuff like that either. Like that.
Yeah, that helps.
Sound guy, that makes it really difficult because you don't know what you're hearing coming through the speakers.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
coming through the mic or on the recording, and you're like, okay, I can push the mic more. And he's not even rapping right now. Why am I pushing the mic?
Exactly.
He's on the stage right now. What happened? Where'd he go?
He's dancing in the crowd, yeah.
Saying like the ad libs, if that, right?
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
I've seen some bad stuff, man. I know you guys have too. And sometimes it's like, what's happening here? Let's just go. This is bad.
Planet Paradise. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm not throwing shade on any of that because I don't need
Was that the place that we did last year, the weed place?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so bad. I was like, I'm not even gonna do nothing. And the guy walks around with the weed bazooka and then just in my face. And I'm like, and I smoke weed, and I was like, what's happening? And then I go on stage and rap now. I'm like, huh? Like, oh man, it was bad.
There was one of those ones where Casper Marcus shot me in the face with the cannon. Pause. And everyone was looking at me like I was gonna die, and I'm like, I need to double down now. And Matt had given me a joint before the show, and I just had it sitting on my case for my controller, so I just lit up and I smoked a joint right after that. Like, I'm on stage, what am I gonna do? Green out? I can't. I gotta double down on this shit.
You walk into that room and you're just high. Like anybody that didn't smoke weed and was in there, I felt bad for. It was bad.
Yeah.
And it's just a bad combination.
Like Isabel doesn't, and she's like secondhand high for the rest of the weekend. It's a good thing we had those on Friday nights.
Yes, it was. And then you would get the nerd candy ropes that were infused, and you forgot they were infused, and realized you had a little bit too much edibles, man.
But yeah, to your point, like sometimes shows get like way too many openers on big shows or just performers on smaller shows. Like, I don't see a reason for any more than 5 or 6 ever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, I don't need to be up there for 5 hours. No one wants to stand for 5 hours. If you wanted to go till 2 a.m., have doors at 10 or something and just have, you know what I mean? Like, people don't want to finish dinner and then go stand in one place till 2 a.m.
Yeah. No, I feel you there.
It's all about starting.
What are you gonna say? Zach, you're gonna say something. I'm in the edge. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say I really like that. I really enjoyed the Weed Lounge place. I don't know if it's still operating.
You like that place?
I liked it there. It was
You
fun.
look like you like that place.
Yeah, you did.
I was too high. Like I said,
He's the youngest
all I
one in
do
this
is
whole
weed,
entire room right now.
My main beef with that place was the stairs.
Oh yeah, I like location. It wasn't great either
because they didn't have speakers there, right? So that was a Jason bring everything, and it was a heavily discounted thing that I was doing for them.
Yes.
And the people I was doing it for always said they were going to be there to help carry the stuff up, but they would always be like, the traffic on the 400's bad, so like I'd carry 8 speakers up the stairs by myself, and then DJ set up, and then I get everything wired up, and he say, "Are we ready to start yet?" Like, and then not pay their bill. So,
yes.
Yeah, we don't know who you're talking about.
I'm blocked.
Oh,
But anyway,
no, I did not enjoy it, to be honest with you either. Like, it was just like you said, it took forever to drive there. It was like that way, and then it took forever, and then super high the whole time, and then
the whole time.
Well, and it's
okay,
like,
now drive home. Like, okay,
you're like,
2 hours
put your
later.
hands up, and you're like, I'm high.
Yeah.
You guys having a good time?
Uh,
I can't hear you.
what I didn't like about it either, it was that it was a competition too, because I feel like if you for competitions like that, you just have a bunch of losers, and it's like, I don't know, like the whole thing was just weird to me. Like, and then I knocked the speaker over, and then from that, my performance got kind of like distracted, and then nobody was paying attention. And then the other song that I did, it was a song that has B1 in it, but because he wasn't there, I did another verse, and because I was so high, I was just like, what was that verse again? Oh man, the whole thing was just a fiasco. It was just like, I want to go now. I want a hamburger. And
it did have a chicken next door, which was nice.
And B1 doesn't even smoke. If you had gone there, B1, you would have been like not having a good time. Like,
I would have walked the fuck out as soon as I saw a weed cannon.
Yeah, you would have.
You wouldn't even have a chance. It was kind of like, what is it? Like, oh my god! And then it burns an ounce of weed. So it's just like on your face. Oh my god! And you're just kind of like, all right, well, fuck, when in Rome.
I would have left immediately.
Zach's like, I don't know what the problem is. Zach's like, I want to get it right now.
God love you.
Oh, I just remembered there's another event series we like that are doing a show pretty soon. February 7th at Knight's Corner in Pickering.
Oh yeah. My God.
Beats and
Don Specs is having his release party.
Yeah.
On and Dre Specs will be there too. I think Pound.
Yep.
Mike Guts. Merciless is DJing, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Zaze is gonna be there too, I think.
He's always good to watch.
I like going to that one. It's easy for me to get to.
Off the highway.
Yeah, but because it's you, Eddie, I think I might, and you, B1. I mean, like, come on. I think you might see me on the first. I mean, even if it's whoever it is, whoever the hell.
You'll like the environment. Once you're inside, you'll forget you're downtown Oshawa, so you'll be good. And
oh, and it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed that that Jenny Old School and Danny Altabelli will be in attendance.
Oh, that's right. They travel from the East End as well, so perhaps I can line something up.
Perhaps.
And actually, you guys should get on their podcast. They have a podcast called Inside Knowledge.
Oh yeah, you guys should.
I would love to.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was on it a few months ago. They've had Ace and Eastwood. Last week they had Rusty Jooks.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They've got some pretty. Yeah, I looked at the list of other guests and I was like, damn, I'm among some pretty good people. But yeah, they're gonna come to the show. Those are the people I'm talking about that have good jobs and go to all the shows, and they leave with T-shirts and vinyl, and they'll post 1,000 pictures. But those are also the people in the very front row when you go to the Phoenix, and like they don't leave front. They get there first, and they're front and center, and they're screaming all the words to every MOP song. Like,
that's what we need more of, man. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they'll support you and they'll, but then come to my show and and it's. That's when it really, like comes through, like actually come by, and actually like make a difference and support, but strength by numbers, right? So
like those two alone, there's not many events that I do in the area that they don't come to, but I know for a fact that like every single thing that anybody that has any affiliation with Real Wolf or anybody, like they go to all of it.
Yeah.
They're the 3 to 4 shows a week type people.
There.
They come out.
Just shout out to Jenny and Danny still, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
B1, they were asking earlier before you came the difference between Underground Soul 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I want
good question. I think there was a level of like, at this point working together, we just kind of know what we do, and we wanted to push it further in terms of creativity with the production and the hooks and the song structures and stuff. But it felt super organic this time. It didn't feel like anything we did was forced at all.
I love that.
Yeah, even the features or anything, any verse, every beat we picked was just super smooth sailing. It was, it felt great. Like I was just chipping away at it whenever I had the time, and it was like every time I got a new beat to work on, it was like, fuck yeah, this is sick. Every song was just great. Like it's one of those albums where we made a ton of songs for it, and it's like if we were to sit down and try and condense it, we would have to cut stuff that's really good. So it's gonna end up, exactly. So it's gonna end up just being a big long record because we can't cut anything. It's all too good. Yeah. So
I like
it's all gonna be on there. It's basically like a double album length.
I like
Amazing.
Yeah.
We almost made it a double album. Actually, we were talking about that at one point.
We were talking about it. And the only reason we decided not to is because streaming platforms don't really offer you a way to release it as a double album.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only way to do that would be to stagger the release and have like an A side, B side, and then release them separately.
Mm-hmm.
But we would rather just have the record out there in its entirety.
Well, and then that would get confusing because you already have volume 1 and volume 2.
Exactly. So then you get like what, volume 2.5 or some shit. So, yeah, exactly. We didn't want to make it any more confusing, so it's just going to be a big epic record, and we're excited.
So only on streaming platforms? Would you guys think about putting it on vinyl at all?
I would definitely think about it, but I've yet to personally order vinyl.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
like in my head because I'm gonna do it.
Okay, fair enough. Let's do it. The thing with vinyl is I feel like you kind of got to make it to order, or like go through someone that you have you have a setup where people order or pre-order and then you make them and ship them.
Are we even gonna be able to fit it in a? Because I feel like it's very long. Like how many songs can you fit in a vinyl?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
We have
then you could do a double. You could do a double vinyl.
Yeah, we might have to do a double vinyl.
I saw
higher pressing costs. What's that, Zach?
I saw Robbie G do. He just took a couple of his biggest songs and he basically did like all the different versions of that song, like the radio edit, like the obviously the version, the instrumental, and the acapella, and each side of the vinyl was like one of the really big singles.
Got you. So he pressed a vinyl that was basically like the top singles from the album.
Yeah, 12-inch single. Like, they were like 12-inch singles, but on a full LP. You know what I mean?
Got you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Shout out Robbie G, man. Doing big things too.
Absolutely, Robbie G's always doing dope things. But yeah, with what you were saying, vinyls are just so expensive to produce. They
exactly. Exactly.
But it's not better than holding a vinyl in your hand.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome, and that's why they cost money. Yeah. But yeah, it would probably be unrealistic to order like a big bulk order of them and then try and sell them. But if you're doing something made to order, that could be definitely something we look into.
I would go that route. That's more cost efficient.
Exactly.
And you're not wasting your time.
And then we could. Sorry to cut you off.
We should have S back on the show and just talk about how he does his vinyls, because he does vinyl for like every album.
Every single album.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Shout out S, man. He's super dope. We have him on the album too. I forgot about S. We have S on the album.
Oh,
Who else do we have on the album? I blanked out when they asked me that question. We have a lot of people.
We got Philly Regs from LRP. We got now I'm blanking too.
Kenny, Smitty,
E. Smitty. Who else is on that? Zays. Who else is on that Posse Cut record? Shark is on 2 songs. Yeah, Shark's on 2 songs. I don't know. There's definitely like less features overall than the Underground Soul 1.
Okay.
So
was that on purpose?
Not necessarily. I think part of it's just you don't want to wait for features all the time. You know what I mean? A lot of it's like part of it's just you sometimes actually want to make music that gets finished. So you just do it.
That also, and I also feel like a lot of times, like we don't go in there thinking, okay, we're gonna get a lot of features. It's just whatever feels natural. You know what I mean? Exactly. So like, and I feel like a lot of the songs didn't need a feature, and the ones that did, we did. But there's a lot of songs that were just you and I, and that it was like we didn't feel or need anything else to like spice it up. We just felt like this is a good, solid song, and I feel like that's a lot of them. Because it is 22 songs, but it's also what I try to do is like be listener friendly in the sense that like not get boring. I don't want to have those 4-minute songs that's okay, we get it, 5 hooks and it's not 22 tracks of that.
Okay.
It's we have a lot of beat changes. We have like at least 3-4 songs that have, halfway through the beat changes, sometimes more than once. And we have a lot of short songs too. So the album is supposed to be like, keep it moving and interesting, and you don't get bored.
Right.
Even though it is 22 songs, and I think we did over an hour, but it's still fun to listen to, and not just here's 22 songs and listen.
Because that would be overwhelming.
Exactly.
For sure. If it was all the same thing, it would definitely be overwhelming. But I think in the way that we did it, it's very dynamic, and I don't think you really realize how long.
That's a good word to use. Yeah.
Perfect. That's like when you're watching, I don't know, like any TV show. Like if you're watching a Penguin episode and it's over an hour, and you're so engrossed in it, you don't realize that it's.
You don't even care. Yeah, you're just like this could be 3 hours, and you're just glued into what's happening. Yeah,
exactly.
Just got to keep people engaged.
I appreciate that. Would you guys ever think about having like doing the same type of event that you're going to do? So like you were saying you wanted to do this like every 3 months or something, have a venue where you can showcase the people who are part of the project, and of course you two. Would you ever have live instrumentation, like just how you said Tiny Desk? Would you guys do something like that?
There's nothing more that I would want than that. That'd be amazing. To me, hip hop and live instrumentation is the best. But the more people you add, or the more stuff, the harder it becomes. And it's like, that's why most groups or bands break up, because it's timing. And even this album, I feel like it took longer than we thought, because like I said, we have different lives and a job, GM's killing me, kids, and that's just 2 of us, right?
Yeah.
If you have, all these people, I feel like that'll be so much harder. We have tried it with other bands that I have worked with in the past. It's never worked. I would love to if I could, though. It would be amazing.
It would be so cool. It would be so cool. I could just imagine.
I do agree. Like in a perfect world, like I would do every single show with a band.
Oh yeah, or even have like a house band, like the Roots kind of, where they have people coming over and then they play with them. That would be amazing. We could have, we're gonna have so and so perform, learn their songs, and they play with them. That would be amazing. So I would love to do something.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. It's just once you bring in a band and stuff, then it's like, okay, now you need full band rehearsals.
Yep.
Several times before every show.
And,
what I mean? Just even scheduling that, booking the place for that, having the time. It's
horrific. I did it for 7 years, and I nearly lost my damn mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So again, like we'd love to, and we hope that works out.
Do you guys remember the band Blues Underdog with Naja?
Yeah.
Dantana, Dan B1?
I don't think so.
Dantana. He
I know Dantana. Yeah.
He used to be in a band with they called Blues Underdog, and they were the same way, like you're saying. And we would play with them, and it was almost like because we would be like rapping to the beat, and then they would come with the whole band and bum, and Naja was like super animated, and he was singing rap, and it was like,
that's so
come on, you know what I mean? And I was always like jealous, because that's always what I wanted, because it just, you feel it way more, like
100%.
Having that, it's just like, even if it's not a whole band, even just having somebody on keyboard, even drums. Exactly, it just adds so much.
Something, right? Something to add on to it. Yeah.
So there's an artist out of Buffalo named Chucky Campbell. And I don't know if you've had the chance to see him perform. I've DJ'd for him a few times when he's come through Ontario, and he travels with a band, but he has as many different versions of his performance tracks as players in the band, times how like exponentially that way. So like he has a folder that has like, like he might come to Toronto with just his drummer.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because it's getting a whole band across the border. So like when he tours, there's more stems in the DJ tracks, but as more members of his band are able to travel with him, he gives the DJ more stripped down tracks.
Got you.
That's cool.
So like when I did his shit, there was just like a keyboard player and I think a guitar player one time. And then another time I think he had a drummer, but like he's never had a full band with me, and I've always had a lot of stuff in my tracks. But I'm sure when he does like his local area, like maybe he doesn't even have any.
Got you.
That's amazing.
That's a really cool way to do it. Yeah, that's awesome.
I would do something
And
like that.
I wanted to compliment you guys. Eddie, you mentioned beat changes earlier.
Yeah.
I told you I don't know all the names of the songs because I listened to it as a project. I think it's called Waiting For.
Yep.
The
Oh yeah,
remix.
yeah.
That beat change is one of the nicest ever.
I haven't heard it yet, and I'm very excited. Are we going to be able to play it? Don't get me excited. Can we play it? Are we allowed?
The Waiting For came out. The Waiting For it was
Absolutely.
our last album, but then the one he's talking about is a remix.
Yes, the
Yeah.
remix. The remix beat change is
Yeah, that's
among
it's
the
out
best
right
I've heard
now.
ever. And when we do it live, it's a fucking vibe.
Yeah, it is because it catches people off guard. It starts out super chill with his parts, and then on my last verse, you get like this banging heavy trap beat, and I just come in with way more energy, right? So it just
comes
people
back in soulful again,
and then it comes smoothly back into the smooth shit at the end. Yeah, it's cool.
That was honestly one of the inspirations for having as many beat changes that we did in the album, because like I didn't tell that producer to do that, and when he did that, it was kind of like that feeling that you got. I was like, that's what I want. I like that element of surprise where you think a song's taking you one way. We have a song in the album where it does that, where it's kind of a love song, but my side of it's kind of a love song, and then once it goes to B1, it takes a way darker, like it goes way darker, and he talks about more dark stuff, and I get that same feeling that I got in Waiting For It, and the same as this one. And that's another thing that I look for when it comes to beats and stuff like that. So I'm very excited for you guys to hear the album, man. Especially you, Jason. I know you loved the last one, and I was there when you heard it the first time, and very excited for you guys to hear this one. It's not like the one at all.
I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of stank face coming from me when I listen to it.
For sure.
There's going to be.
Absolutely.
And not many can get that out of me. So, yeah.
Looking forward to hear you guys' thoughts on it, especially all the deep songs. I was telling them earlier, everyone, there's a lot of more like deeper songs that we go into, a lot more deeper subjects, stuff like that. So I'm excited for them to hear that.
For sure. It's a really good balance. There's a lot of just like rapping our asses off kind of shit, but then there's also lots of deep personal kind of cuts. So I think it's the way it's structured was like we didn't sit there and be like we have to have this number of this type of songs, but just whatever way it came out, it just organically is like almost perfectly balanced between fun tracks and deeper cuts in a way that I think complement each other really well.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to do some of them live on February 1st. Once again, that's at Bond Street Event Center, 44 Bond Street East in Oshawa. Starts at 8 p.m.
Yes, sir.
And you can get in for the very low price of $3.99.
$0.
You have no excuses. You know, people are like, I would, but I don't have $10. No excuse. It's too late. No excuse. I can't help the fact that it's in Oshawa downtown. I'm sorry, Natalie.
And in winter.
That part sucks.
Like I said, this is just, this is the pilot, hopefully, I can get some sponsors and make it bigger for next time, get more artists and keep it going,
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I know that we have a ton of music that we're going to be able to fill in the rest of the show with. It's all going to be of you guys, which I'm very excited about. But shout out a few tracks that you want your listeners or our listeners to check out if they have never checked you guys out before. So 2 from you, B1, 2 from you.
Okay. All right. And it could be anything, or should it be something we did together?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Well, I'll pick one from the Underground Soul album if nobody has listened to that. The Recipe is probably my favorite off our first album. So you can find that anywhere. It also has a video. So B1 the Architect, Eddy Jones, The Recipe, that's definitely one I would recommend for first time listen.
All right.
And then another song that I just recently dropped, it's near the top of my popular list on Spotify, called Rock Bottom, which is a kind of industrial hip hop posse cut. It's fucking nasty, and I'm really happy with that song. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's another one, and basically you can play anything off the first Underground Soul album. Honestly, the whole album's awesome. So,
Perfect.
That's what I would pick.
All right, that's 2 from you. All right, Eddie, you got 2?
I like people to check out the stuff that's not the most popular. You know, I feel like there's a lot of songs that got under the radar. Like Hotel Oblivion is my favorite song on the album, and I feel like that's one of the ones that got the least love. You know, and I'm just like, Ulysses killed that song twice.
Ulysses is on that? Stop this. Okay. Okay.
Goes off at the end. Goes off. And another one for me also that's up there is Cold City. I feel like
good call.
As a B1 fan, not even as, you know, partner or whatever, is when I heard Cold City, I was like, God damn, this is, you know, like this is the one. And I was so amazed when he asked me to be on it, you know what I mean? And I remember like putting a lot of thought into what I was writing, because I was just like, I've been in it so long that it's hard for me to be impressed, especially by, you know what I mean? And when I heard that beat and what he had on it and the knee Smitty, I was just like, wow. And I feel like that's the ones that showcase the most of what we're able to do, even with the video too. I feel like the video turned out dope too.
I always forget that song's actually from my solo album, because it feels like an Underground Soul record.
Okay.
So I and we always perform it together too. So I always forget that it's not just like on Underground Soul. That's actually off my my album from 2022, I think, called No Love.
No Love. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that song's incredible. Good shout out.
Good job. All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up. You tell everyone, B1, you start off. Where can we find you?
Everywhere that you could conceivably find somebody. If you type in B1 the Architect on any one of these miserable social media platforms of your choice, you'll find me there.
Or he'll find you too. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
He's on
exactly. I'll probably drop 12 singles by the time you follow me. So
probably will. We're not going to put any money on that.
He has a single coming out at 1 p.m. and another one coming out at 7 p.m.
You guys think I'm joking, but I think there's actually something releasing tonight, and I completely forgot.
See, that's why I didn't want to put no money on it. It's like putting money on the damn Detroit Lions. Anyways, I'm going to sidebar that. Eddie, it's your turn. Your turn, Eddie. Where can we find you?
For me, it's I am Eddy Jones on everything.
Okay.
And just, you know, it's EDDY. When you search up Eddy Jones, a lot of like IE Jones come out. I am EDDY Jones. So
Edward Jones Financial Services.
No.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Eddy Jones, everything. Yeah. Check out all the albums, and like I said, the new album's coming out too. I'm also like 30% into my new solo album that I've been working on secretly with B1, so don't tell him about it. And that should be coming out this summer. And you know, stay working.
I love it. I love your hustle. I love the both of your hustles. I appreciate you both.
Appreciate you guys too. So much
for the support.
And you guys are always playing my music. You guys are always interviewing. You guys are always coming out to the shows. Thank you so much for everything. We appreciate you guys. Zach too, even though he fell asleep halfway through interviewing.
I know.
I'm not falling asleep. I'm just sitting here. What are you talking about?
We're fucking with you. We're allowed.
I'm dead.
Shout out, Zach.
I'm dead.
It's too funny.
Thank you guys for having us, for real, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
it was our pleasure.
For coming out. You can catch us next week on CFFF Trent Radio FM in Peterborough, Ontario, 92.7. Around the rest of the world at trentradio.ca. And you can follow us on YouTube and our podcast.
That's right, baby. And I think we might have a special female MC next week. I cannot wait. Straight from Montreal, Holly Dish. So it's going to be our first female MC of 2025. I would like to see more of that. But anyways, stay blessed, everyone. Until next week.
Keep fit and have fun.
Thank you for having us, guys. Peace.
Thank you so much.
Peace.